The Pat Pod, hanging with the Hickey Squad, think he's cool. We do too. Listen up, he speaks the truth. The Pat Pod, be a part of Hickey Squad. No more singing, go, go, go. This is the Pat Hickey Show.
Hey, welcome to the Pat Hickey Show. I'm Rusty Humphries, he's Pat Hickey. You stole your son's watch?
I stole my son's watch. My son said that he didn't like him. I'm like, well, man, I guess I'm old school. I just grabbed it and I started wearing it.
What kind of kid doesn't, what kind
A
of watch?
Breitling, yeah. He said Rolex only. He's an entitled. He's a part of that entitlement crew, right?
You haven't spoiled your kids at all.
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, he's like, if it's not a Rolex, I'm not wearing it. I'm like, okay. Right.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, we're not going to do parenting tips today.
That's one thing I'm not very good at. Yeah,
That's how we know
I'm
we
not
wanna
very
go.
good at that.
You know what? There's a lot of things going on, and we're in the middle of this pandemic.
Right.
And everybody's all freaked out about this pandemic.
Right.
And we're here in your office, and there's people around, and all kinds of things going on. What about this pandemic that it is scaring you? I mean, you afraid of getting sick? You afraid of that pandemic, the COVID-19?
Well, I think everyone should have cautions to, hi, how you doing, buddy? You're the man. A pandemic that, the only thing I'm scared of is what we don't know, right? I think that at the end of the day, it could be nothing, it could be something. I think I haven't changed my behavior other than we can't go out, but, wash our hands more and be careful, that's it.
But that's not really the
there's
pandemic.
Another pandemic.
Yeah, that's not the one you're worried about
But there's
the
a
most.
pandemic I'm worried about.
Yeah,
it's the pandemic of sloppiness. We have sloppiness pandemic across America, across the world, and right here, even in my own business. Pandemic of sloppiness.
What is it about sloppiness that drives you so crazy?
Well, we can say it's a comfort zone or lazy zone, but if you look in your own world or your own life or anything you do or your business does, I think you can just point out the sloppiness pandemic I'm talking about very easily. The things we used to say, oh, I used to do that. I used to work out. I used to be early. I used to get up early. I used to not hit the snooze bar. I used to do that. Everything's I used to, or I could have, or I would have, or I should. It's a pandemic of excuses, a pandemic of comfortability, and I think that we need to really address this pandemic first, and then the rest of the pandemics won't seem so bad.
Well, it's like if only I had more time to not work, I could stay home and eat well and exercise a lot.
Then they got that. Look at everybody. How many people in this pandemic are sitting at home working out right now, do you think? They're waiting for their stimulus check, just working out, eating right, exercising every day. I doubt it, right?
Yeah.
And, I think of, just looking at a salesman. When's the last time you read a book? When's the last time you watched a YouTube video? When's the last time you try to get better? When's the last time you mentored someone or got mentored by someone? When's the last time, you really felt that you were trying to become uncomfortable so you got better?
Isn't that one of the things that I've noticed that guys kind of think, I finished high school, I finished college, I don't need to learn anything else, I need to read any more books, I'm done. And boy, that's the last thing you want to be thinking, especially in a sales job, right?
Well, it's amazing. Again, sloppiness, or, I hate to use the word laziness or, words like that. But sloppiness, when's the last time you really read a book to get better? Not read a book for fun, not read a book, just read a book to get better.
Something without the title Spider-Man in it.
Or pictures.
Yeah.
That book that didn't have, when's the last time you read a book without pictures? I think that's your indicator that you've become sloppy. When's the last time you picked up something new? When's the last time you tried a new hobby? When's the last time you tried a new anything? Because we become such in routines that we become comfort zones, complacent, and that's when we really just accept and you really become kind of like the just cog in the wheel, and that's when life gets boring. And when you become bored, you become sloppy. When you become sloppy, you start making less money, and when you start making less money, you start blaming everything other than really need to look in the mirror and go, wait, I'm sloppy. Let's tighten it up, tighten these things up. And that's probably the easiest way for us to even get better, is that when you start tightening up the sloppy things, it seems to have an exponential benefit on everybody. Everyone around you, your family, your friends, your relative, anybody. When you correct your own sloppiness, people around you start becoming less sloppy.
There's an energy to it, right? There's a thing that you are bringing positive change.
Who doesn't like to go see Tony Robbins or any of these, like Grant Cardone? Those guys are full of energy. They're full of great ideas, and that energy spreads. And just like any bad energy spreads, good energy spreads. And I think that when people get in a business atmosphere, and this guy does it, you start to justify your own existence and say, well, if that guy does, I can do it. If that guy doesn't do that, I don't have to do that. That guy doesn't do this, that. And then you come to a point that you wake up and you're like, wow, why am I not better than everybody else? Why am I not doing well? Why am I not number one? Why am I not have a lot of money? Why am I? And you start going to why I'm not, and then you blame, and then you go, well, I'm not that because that guy gets favored, or I'm not that because that guy has that, or that. When it should go, I'm sloppy. I'm just sloppy. And if you correct sloppiness, money follows. But if you chase money, money runs away. So if you're not making a lot of money, when you look at it, stop chasing the money and start chasing being perfect certain things. Start perfecting your craft, perfecting the way you look, perfecting the way you talk, perfecting the things around you so that you can, so people look to you as a person that at least has their game on. You don't have to be perfect, but at least people striving to be perfect, people want to be like those people.
What would you say, Tony Robbins calls it something, it's a breaking the pattern. How would you break that pattern and get out
pattern
of
interruption, right?
Yeah.
Because just our brains work is that when you get into patterns, it's a routine, or another word, for just complacency, is that our bodies want to get to a point that we feel comfortable. The unfortunate part is when you're comfortable, you're shrinking. It's like your muscles when you're working out. People say working out, you get bigger by tearing your muscle every day.
Right.
The more you tear it, then it heals, it grows bigger. You tear it, it gets bigger. Your brain is a muscle. If you're not working that muscle in a different way, if you just do the same thing each and every time, your brain actually shrinks and starts getting worse. It's like remembering phone numbers. Any of us that are kind of old guys like us,
right.
Man, I used to remember 5,000 phone numbers. I mean, literally, I could, that guy's name, that guy's number, that girl's number, like this. Now it's like, what's your wife's phone number? I don't know. What's your kid's phone number? I don't know. Here, I'll look it up. Wait, I'll look it up. Yeah, oh, that's my number.
Yeah.
And any of you that can relate to that, man, if they asked me what my son's phone number was right now, I'd struggle to do it. I call him every day.
Right.
But yet, I just push a button. I don't think
because
of it.
You don't need
and
it.
You're not using your
Right.
brain to remember that. So your brain kind of just throws it away, and then your brain shrinks, and it's not really physically shrinking, but your memory is shrinking your things, because when you don't use those skills go away.
And it helps keep you alive. I knew this guy. He was a friend of mine. His name was Herb Kelleher, and Herb started Southwest Airlines. And he's
a friend of yours?
Yeah.
Can you give me a deal on Southwest tickets?
I'll hook you up, see what we can do.
Yeah.
But he used to have a Halloween party at the office, and he'd have me coming down to DJ for it. And he knew every single person's name that he ever met.
Right.
How do they do that? I don't know. But something in that made his brain alive,
right.
And he was always thinking and
right.
always creating something new. And
right.
How do you create an airline? I mean, it's amazing.
No, because he's brilliant. The guy's brilliant.
The guy was brilliant.
And again, he may not be brilliant, but people think he's brilliant because he uses techniques that make his brain work a little bit better than ours. He makes his brain, and he may be brilliant. There are some weirdos out there that are
right.
just like, super smart. I'm not that guy. I wish I was, right? Now, I was fortunate that I can remember stuff that, I don't have to study and study to remember. I can look at it one time and remember it. Some people aren't that lucky. I'm very lucky that way. But the better you get, and the smarter you try to make yourself, even if you're not smarter, people watch that behavior. You using your brain, you actually are getting smarter. You're getting appearance of being smarter. Therefore,
right.
You become what you're trying to become, even if you really don't become that.
Really quick, again, how would you suggest somebody start getting off of this sloppiness? I mean, again, you get stuck in that pattern. How do you get out of it?
First, you got to identify it.
Okay.
Again, like here, I daily walk through my showroom and go, wait, and you look and you're like, hey, we have rules of what can be in an office, what can't be in an office. But then one manager will let one guy put one thing on the desk. Then another guy says, that's on the desk. He'll put two more things there. By the time you become numb to it, you've been at the store for 3-4 months, and you're like, what happened? How did it get to here? So you got to keep, even though you don't want to get in a pattern, you got to put checklist what you're going to do to not become sloppy. Because there's certain things, sloppiness. Hey, maybe it might be working out in the morning or working out at night, setting a time, making sure you're going to do it, make sure you're checking to do it. It might be, hey, I got out of the habit of trying to get better. I'm going to study, and if you just say I'm going to do an hour a day, you'll never do it. Maybe
right.
5 minutes a day. Maybe 2 minutes a day.
So are you a guy
Maybe
that believes
it's just one video a day.
Are you a guy that believes a lot in taking notes and writing things down?
I physically, every day, I have a notepad. I go through a ton of these. I bought an iPad, because they have this in the iPad.
Right.
It's not the same thing.
Yeah.
I bought the pen. I bought the exact, it doesn't work the same. It's still digital. I still like physical paper. I'm old school, but, I just think that here, by the hand of writing it down, your mind triggers. And the more you write down, the more you visualize it, the more you look at it, the more you refer back to it, the better you're going to get. And the less sloppy you're going to be. And I think everyone, if they're truly honest with themselves, everyone's sloppy. So, I mean, hey, just look at you recorded me talking to my wife. When's the last time you just did something for your girlfriend or your spouse, your wife? Like, got her flowers, took them out to dinner just randomly, got them a present, sent them a card. We don't do that because we become sloppy even in relationships.
Right.
That, you know, when you're dating, you want to, you know, you're like non-sloppy when you're zero sloppiness, right? You're calling them every hour on an hour. You're writing them letters. You're whatever you do to date, right? Now, once you get it, it gets sloppy towards the end. Why do most people get divorced? They're like, oh, you never listen to me anymore. You don't do anything special anymore. You're sloppy. Mm-hmm. You just became sloppy in your relationship, sloppy in your work relationship, sloppy in your regular relationship, just sloppy.
Right.
And I think if we stop the sloppiness of the pandemic of sloppiness right now, we stop that, all the pandemics will seem minimal.
All right, if there's something that you need to help with and to getting over your sloppiness, what are you sloppy about? What is it that you need to improve yourself? Comment right here, and Pat, you'll take a look and maybe you comment.
Yeah, I want to see what you're sloppy on.
Mm-hmm. And that's not a slam on you. It's a way
Everyone's
to get better.
sloppy.
Right,
Everyone.
we all have issues.
I'm sloppy. Everyone's sloppy.
That's right. So
Everyone.
Comment right here. Would you also make sure you subscribe to the Pat Hickey Show? Just hit that subscribe button right now. Tell your friends. Let people know we're here every week. Don't forget to subscribe. Tell your friends. Check us out on YouTube, Roku, Apple TV,
HBO.
HBO. Not yet, but that's coming.
HBO.
All right. And also make sure you check out Pat Hickey at either Surprise Ford or Peoria Ford. PeoriaFord.com, SurpriseFord.com. We sure appreciate you. We'll check you out next time. I'm Rusty Humphries for Pat Hickey, and this is the Pat Hickey Show.